Hey everyone, this is QuakeMan. This video is a little late on time because I did wake up late on time. I had to see the video completely long after and study the videos of stuff. But in relation, Doom Eternals, the gameplay reveal from QuakeCon on Friday, August 10th, did drop. I actually watched and studied very carefully as I could to try and notice anything that was different or the same. Giving basically my 2 cents, my thoughts, my opinions, all that jazz, because me being a fan of id Software products and stuff, I'm making a video about this because why not? Let's have some fun because I want to discuss some stuff. So the first thing I did notice from the game is that it seems like they're actually adding an attachment system for the SSG because they didn't do that in Doom 2016. Well, the only special ability you had, which I avoided, which is being able to shoot each shell individually, which my mind just goes, why the fuck would you want to do that when you want to use the SSG for using the SSG double shot? So I never used that upgrade, but this time it seems like there's now a grappling hook on the weapon, which can be used to pull yourself closer to enemies, which adds more movement system. It doesn't seem like you can use it against walls. If you can, they never showed it. It seemed like you can only do it against enemies. But that still adds at least a movement system for the SSG that's pretty nice. Gets you close to the target to do a giant double blast, which I think is awesome. I'm going to spice this in here because I forgot to add this in the main recording. So something I forgot to mention was they also added an extra movement system to the game where you can like short boost forward and backwards into the game, kind of a way of dodging projectiles very, very quickly or getting into cover very, very quickly. It seems like you can only have 2 charges and it recharges relatively quickly. Maybe they'll do something later down the line of information related to that, but they showed us a new movement system on top of the grapple hook that I think is pretty cool. So forgot to add that, adding it in, moving on with the video. The shotgun showed itself having basically the similar attachments of a grenade launcher attachment and the rapid fire attachment of the shells. However, in this version, instead of it being a 3 burst as it was in 2016, it seems like it's going to be a Gatling gun style where it just rapidly shoots shells. So that's the balance between those modules and everything like that. Glory kills are the same, except for now you have a blade on your left arm, similar to like something like a Predator, if you want to think about it. There's sometimes little bars sticking out that you can grab onto and swing across them, as I mentioned, sounding like Tomb Raider and Prince of Persia games. The grenade throwing stuff that you had in 2016, which I never freaking use, is now a mounted thing on your armor. There also seems to be a flamethrower ability to it, and from what I notice with the flamethrower is that if you're burning enemies, and you start to shoot them with like the heavy rifle, they start to drop shards of armor. So I think that's the additive attachment to try and get you to use the flamethrower. You know, it doesn't instantly kill them, but if you shoot them as they're burned, it helps. It drops armor shards over time, which I think is pretty cool. But yeah, the heavy rifle does return. They didn't show micro missiles, so they might be hiding that. They might be hiding the second attachment for it. But what they did add is the uranium shots again. They're making it more like a sniper rifle, like a really powerful charge shot, which I think is much better because I don't think anyone ever used the uranium shots because the micro missiles were so good. It seems like on certain tile walls you can climb them, which adds more movement. It's a little slower, but it adds more movement, so you can get traversed around terrain a little bit more. And it makes sense because you're going to be on a I think you're actually, honestly, I actually don't even know if you actually are on Earth. I think you're supposed to be, but I think it's not sure yet. I assume it's Earth, but I think because you're on Earth, you know, there's going to be a lot more movement allowed and climbing terrain allowed, and so on and so forth. You can also punch through certain walls. I don't know if that's going to be a starting thing or maybe an ability you upgrade to punch stronger walls or something. And maybe they could use that to access more secrets, possibly, which will be fun to try and think about. They apparently showed the ability to pick up an extra life, which I think means that if you die, you can restart where you were at, but if you die again, you have to reload a checkpoint. Interesting, but I mean, they didn't have to add that, but they did. That sort of deal. The auto map does return, which showing a demon corruption percentage in the corner, which means maybe you have to clear all the corruption of enemies and areas before you can finish the level or something entirely. It's hard to say. You can now pick up keys again. Those are back, except for now it's instant instead of a stupid fucking animation waiting to pick up the key. This is a weird side topic rant. I love Doom 2016. By all means, I highly recommend it, 100%. But they claimed that this was going to be a full-blown I said the word twice, action, no stop Doom experience. And yet they make your character do stupid little animations when opening doors, picking up keys, and picking up weapons. I didn't want that. That's not how you make a Doom experience, in my opinion. That's waiting to do stuff. But they got rid of that in this version to make the action more fluent. Thank you. That's just my opinion. Anyways, it looks like the rocket launcher got a redesign. So did the plasma rifle. The plasma rifle is basically a nice nod reference to original Doom from what I saw. It just looks like original Doom's plasma rifle very nicely. There's soon to be a new weapon called the Ballista, which works almost similar to the Gauss Cannon, which makes me wonder if the Gauss Cannon even is going to return anyways. It seems like its module has a charge shot that shoots like a spike at them and then explodes, similar to like an explosive arrow or something like that. I noticed that the Pain Elemental and the Arachnotrons are added to this game, which I think is a really cool feature to see those enemies in the game, as well as maybe anything else. Since they already did the Revenant reveal and the Mancubus, which were more of a Doom 2 showing, it's nice to see at least the Pain Elemental and the Arachnotron show up. And the Arachnotrons apparently can go on ceilings. That's pretty cool. There also seems to be new enemies that kind of trying to be a nice little nod to like the zombie men's or the shotgun guys from Doom 1 and Doom 2, which is also pretty cool. There seems to be a flying imp character that I notice. That looks interesting. I wonder how they'll work in tactical intervention and stuff in the single player. They talked about building a Doom universe and doing more with the Doom product and stuff like that, which my only take to that is cool, awesome, no problems with that, because literally Doom's lore, the only thing about Doom's lore I care about is the fact that all the story is about a teleportation accident on Mars, which has your character going through it on Phobos and Deimos, Deimos being in Hell, which then you deal with Hell, but then you find out at the end of the game that it was just a ruse, that they attacked Mars, that was a purposeful attack, that wasn't accidental. And their only reason they attacked Mars was so they could send a fleet to Mars to help them, which everyone got murdered, and then that's when they attacked Earth, which was Doom 2 Hell on Earth. That's all the story is. There's nothing unique about that besides that. So they have already touched on it more. And since technically Doom 2016 was, from what people guess, may have been a sequel to Doom 64, because in Doom 64 you were going through Mars and everything like that, then you went through Hell, then after you killed the Spawn Queen, you stayed in Hell to stop the demons from escaping. And since you came from Hell afterwards, it sounds like it's possible that it's a reference to Doom 64. So, again, create your Doom universe. You are already on the right path in terms of its story. You could do whatever the fuck you want, and Doom 2016 was great about that. Plus, you could ignore the story and have fun, except for one part, and that's a different rant entirely. They also mention Dark Souls-like invading system, where you can invade a player during the campaign and take control of demon and go after them. I'm quite intrigued what that would entail. Like, what does that benefit the player invading, and what does that benefit the player playing the game? You know, because like Dark Souls has a benefit for it. When you invade someone, you kill them, you get a free humanity and you get souls out of it. You know, and vice versa. If you as the host player kills the invader, you in turn get a humanity and their souls. So in a single player game like this, what does it entail? If they're going to say there's an XP system to the game, which I hope there's not, because again, I've ranted about upgrade systems, and I've ranted about how it tends to get overused in games. I bitched about Doom 2016 in private all the time, and that's a side story entirely. If they're doing this as an XP system, that would be really dumb and could be exploitive to some people for a single-player game, although it's single-player, so people are going to say, why does it matter? But at the same time, I find it intriguing. Now, they did mention you can choose to opt out of that thing, so if you just want to play through the campaign without dealing with the online stuff, that's awesome. That is very, very awesome, and I like the fact that you're giving those people that particular feature because, well, it would be really dumb if you didn't. That's just my opinion. What else was there that I wrote down? In the second gameplay sort of trailer they showed off, it felt like they were making a nod, or they were either making a nod or something in relation to Halo 2. In the first level you do in Halo 2 with all the ships being attacked and stuff. But it was funny to see that you walk through the ship and have all the people look at you and freak out. And they're like, it's the Doom guy. Like, that was funny. And then when they're like, you must let the Doom Slayer in. They're like, why would we let him in? And then he looks at him, and then he grabs the key card, pulls him by the neck, activates it, and drops it. And then walks forward, and then one of the guys like, hey, you can't be here. And then he just takes his plasma gun like, it's mine, and goes forward. And that was actually really funny. I wonder if that is the actual intro, and that's them making a little nod to, like, either making fun of, which would be weird, stuff like that, to Halo 2 or any sort of space battle. Nothing new really was showed in that trailer besides the ballista showing. But at the end of that one, they showed two things. One, I already knew was a thing from the first trailer at E3. Like, anyone who's a Doom fan could see it a mile away. Motherfucking Archvile is back into battle! And I wonder how he's going to function in this one. As much as I love Doom 3, Doom 3's Archvile was very underwhelming in comparison to Doom 2's Archvile when you first meet it, because Jesus Christ, is that unexpected. And terrifying if you have to deal with like 10 of them in some mods I've played in Doom 1. Doom 2's. So seeing the Archvile and its design, beautiful. It looks like it's taken on a very nice way of original Doom 2's design, while also adding another feature. I almost feel like its face is a reference to a creature that was teased for Doom 3 but never released, or that's just me thinking too much into it. But awesome, great, we're seeing the Archvile. I wonder how you function and how you're going to work. Are you going to be reviving all characters that we killed on the map, including Cacodemons, Barons of Hells, and Mancubuses? Or are you just going to do what Doom 3 did, which is revive, lesser enemies like imps and shit? We'll see. And then the second reveal they showed is a sort of saber sword. All I can say is I hope it's not an animation only like the chainsaw, because yes, the chainsaw does return, and it seems like it's another ammo spitter of bullshit. I have a personal opinion about that. I don't mind the glory kill insta and using gas, but I wish you could take it out and just go and do like 10 points of damage a second. But no, apparently they didn't do that in Doom 2016. But they didn't show it in the trailers of Doom Eternals. We just saw it on the HUD, so maybe they did change it here. We'll have to wait and see. But overall, I like a lot of the stuff they showed. We didn't get to see if the Chain God returned. We didn't see if there's the pistol returning. We didn't see if the Gauss Rifle returning, because the Ballista is technically a new weapon. We did see basically a new attachment for the Super Shotgun to make it more versatile, which I think is nice. They added more movements to it. You can climb walls, you can punch through walls, you can punch through stuff, which is a nice little movement feature. Some new enemies here and there. The designs of the layout of the map look really, really nice, and some of the sketch art they showed us from QuakeCon, I really like some of the areas. One of them caught my interest because one of the characters they designed almost looks like a priest demon for some reason, so I'm curious about that. I also feel like they're taking cues from Diablo, because there's a scene they're looking out that reminds me of some of the designs that Diablo did, but still. But I am definitely excited. They did not announce a release date, at least from the trailer I saw. They might do it later in QuakeCon or whatnot. I'm guessing it would be next year. If not, maybe November. They might do November of next year, or they may do May of next year, like they did with 2016, where I released it in May. But I think that is all I can say today. That is all that I was able to pinpoint and notice that I was intrigued by. Oh, actually, again, one more thing I forgot. I hate it when I do this, but I do this all the time. There was a moment where he picked up a ruin in the middle of the gameplay, and it gave him a special power that seems to be a permanent power and not a ruin system or an upgrade system. It just seems like something you get on the map, which makes me question, is this game going for a Metrovania style game where you can go backwards and forwards in levels, or is it going to be leveled base beforehand, but you can replay levels and keep your equipment similar to what Doom 2016 does to try and find all the secrets? I also wonder, are they going to do references to classic Doom like they did in Doom 2016? Because finding all those secrets was fun, even though one of the areas, the graphical textures was messed up. I also... God. So, there. I think that is it. That is the final breath I'll take that I saw from the QuakeCon Doom Eternal stuff. So, I'm very happy with seeing stuff. Again, they're hiding more information. We'll have to wait and see. If they do put an upgrade system, one, please don't be insulting like you did last time. I don't like the upgrade system from 2016. I don't mind the whole being able to pick up more abilities on the map, but I don't like this. That's a rant of another time, and I'm not going to get into that. But I am proud of this, and I think they're going to do a good job with this sequel. Very, very much. So I think that's it. I'll try to leave the trailers I've watched and everything down in the description, unless you have already seen it, obviously. That's it for today. Thank you so much for listening and watching. Have a wonderful day, and take care.